Hi, Ray Edwards here with a video about manifestation for copywriters, marketers, and entrepreneurs. What? Manifestation? Have I gone all new age on you? Am I going to teach you how to do magic? Maybe. That's what's coming up next. If you're new to this channel, it's devoted to helping entrepreneurs prosper with purpose in all areas of their lives. So at least once a week we put out videos full of useful tactics, tools, and tips you can put to work right away to become more prosperous, more fulfilled, and more at peace with your world. If you like the sound of that, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon. That way you'll get a notification every time I make a new video for you, which is at least once a week. So let's get down to it. Manifestation for copywriters, marketers, and entrepreneurs. What on earth am I talking about? Have I gone nuts on you? Do I believe that just by thinking about something, wishing for it, you can make it so? Not exactly, although it seems to come close to that. I used to be very anti-manifestation in my way of thinking. And when I say anti-manifestation, I'm talking about that thing we heard about first, probably for most of us, in The Secret, the movie The Secret, where you visualize something so clearly that it comes into your life, it's attracted into your life. And what I always felt was missing from that equation was the action required to make it happen. Sure, you can visualize it, that helps, but you need to take some action too. And in the back of my mind, what I was really thinking was the visualization was something we did that made ourselves psyched up to go do the work we needed to get the thing we wanted. And I think that's right, but I also think it misses something very important. And that's the real power of visualization to help manifest things in reality. So here's a short summary of things I've been studying and learning lately that I believe play directly into this manifestation question. The first thing is, when we do anything in life repeatedly, like our daily routines, the stuff we do every day, we're creating neural networks. This is a fact of science. We create pathways in our brain, and I mean physical pathways, linked pathways made up of neurons, brain cells, that become what we think of as muscle memory or automatic pilot behavior. Where if you've ever been driving and you started to head somewhere and you got lost in thought and you ended up where you intended to be, but you couldn't remember actually driving there, that's a neural network at work, doing the work for you. It's become such well-worn behavior that you can do it automatically. Now that's good, but it can also be detrimental if the neural networks you build are for anxiety, fear, depression, and we so often do those things. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about using these neural networks to your benefit to help manifest things in reality. Visualizing something clearly creates an environment inside your brain that your brain cannot distinguish between something that really happened and something that was vividly imagined. And if you vividly imagine something repeatedly, it's the same as if your brain is having the experience in reality over and over again, and that creates a neural network which activates other parts of your brain. Now, this kind of gets off into some territory that some may think is pseudoscientific, some may think it's fanciful, but my experience is, through my own personal experimentation, it's real, however we explain it. I think what happens is we visualize and imagine something so vividly in our future that we activate what's called the reticular activating system in your brain. This is the part of your brain that notices stuff in your environment. Presumably, it was installed in our brains over eons as a way of protecting us, making us aware of things in our environment we need to be aware of, like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! We don't generally live in a world of lions, tigers, and bears anymore, but we do use the reticular activating system all the time. It's like when you buy that new car, you've heard this metaphor before, I'm sure. You buy that new car, it's a new Subaru, it's burgundy in color, and you think, wow, we're the only people who have this. But suddenly you see those cars everywhere. Did they suddenly appear out of nowhere? Or is it true they were already there and you just didn't notice them before because you had no neural network set up to do that? I believe it's the latter. That's your reticular activating system, constantly scanning the environment around you, looking for things that are important to you. The other factor that comes into play when talking about manifestation, I believe, is the electromagnetic signaling that takes place in your brain. When I first heard somebody say that our brains emit electromagnetic signals like a radio station I thought that was crazy, but I did some research called Wikipedia and Google, and apparently it's true. Our brains do emit electromagnetic radiation, signals into the environment around us. Now, there's a lot of argument about how powerful those signals are, but it seems to me that anybody who's experimented before with visualization and vividly imagining a certain future for yourself, and then seeing it come to pass through a series of coincidences that suddenly spring up in your life, synchronicities, if you will, there's something going on that goes beyond just thinking about a goal and then being attuned to your environment and walking into situations that help you achieve the goal. There's something more at work there. And I believe it's in part the neural networks and in part the electromagnetic signature of the brain actually having an effect on reality and changing things in your favor, or at least in the direction of your thoughts and meditations, which create those neural networks and those electromagnetic signals. This, I believe, is why the practice of manifestation so often yields positive results that frustrates fidgety skeptics like me. But I've decided to get on board because it works, and I don't really care how it works, I just care that it works. So here are 5 steps to more reliable manifestation in your life, especially if you're a copywriter, a marketer, or entrepreneur. Now, why do I say that? Are these techniques limited to those people? No, but the people who watch my videos tend to be copywriters, marketers, or entrepreneurs. So those are the keywords I put in the video because I'm talking to you. Key number 1 to more reliable manifestation for copywriters, marketers, and entrepreneurs. You need to vividly imagine the future that you want to see. This could be a new car, it could be a certain income level in your business, it could be a certain number of clients or a certain person as a client. But the key is you vividly imagine this future scenario, this client, this amount of money, this car, whatever you're wanting to manifest. And you imagine it so vividly that it seems real to you. You can enjoy it in that visualization because you know what it feels like to be there, to have this thing. It's kind of like what Jesus said when he said, when you pray for something, ask for it and believe in your heart that you already have it and it is yours. So that's step 1, visualizing in great, vivid detail. Step 2, and I believe this is the most crucial part of the whole 5 steps, experience the joy and gratitude you receive when this manifestation becomes real. Step into that moment when you pay off that last debt, or when you walk into your brand new house you just had built, or when you sign that one special person as a client, or whatever the thing is you're visualizing. Step into the moment when you receive it and feel the joy and the gratitude so deeply that you want to leap up and jump around and have a party because it happened. Your goal has become reality. I can't stress enough how important it is that you have to actually feel the gratitude and the joy. If you don't feel it yet, you haven't imagined it vividly enough. You've got to get to the point where the joy and thankfulness just springs from you as if it were a river springing up from underground. When you get there, you know you've made step 2 happen, so you're ready to move on to step 3. Step 3 is from that place of joy and gratitude and that place of vividly imagining what it's like to have the thing you want. And then step 3, ask yourself, who did I have to become to make that a reality? What kind of person gets the thing that I just visualized, that I just experienced? What kind of person am I that I was able to make that happen? And once you've done that, we come to step 4. Be that person. Walk into that future. Step into it. You can't do it all at once, but you can certainly adopt the mindset that says, this is the person I have to become, and I'm now going to take the steps to get there, whatever those steps are. I can't tell you specifically what the steps are for you because, well, it's your goal, it's your manifestation. But you will know what you need to do, who you need to become in order to receive the answer to your manifestation request. Step 5, this is another crucial step. Along the way, notice what manifests, but ignore what doesn't. What do I mean? Sometimes, in order to protect ourselves from disappointment, we see something contrary pop up in our experience to our visualization. We see a setback or a problem, and we allow ourselves to become very discouraged, and so we become almost bitter. We say things like, see, that happens every time. Why didn't that work? Why didn't the manifestation work? Why didn't God do the thing I asked him to do when I was praying? See, this stuff doesn't work. Well, do you want to convince yourself that it doesn't work? Or do you want to see it happen? If you want to see it happen, my advice is look for the things that manifest. When I was in my deepest, darkest moments of financial despair, I learned a technique, and that was being thankful for what I had. I would find a penny on the ground and pick it up. Instead of walking over it and ignoring it as I used to, I'd pick it up and I'd say wholeheartedly, "Thank you, God, for placing this wealth in my path." And I'd put that penny in my pocket. And I began to see my wealth increase. I believe that noticing what manifests, noticing the answers to prayer, noticing what God is doing in your life, instead of noticing what God's not doing, is vitally important for us seeing the manifestation come true. Vitally important for us to see the prayer being answered. So those are the 5 steps for a greater level of manifestation for copywriters, marketers, and entrepreneurs, and anybody else who wants to manifest anything. Is it crazy? Maybe. Is it scientific? I think so. Does it work? I absolutely know it does. And if you don't agree with me, my invitation to you is try what I've suggested here. Try it all the way. You can have your doubt and skepticism back later if you want them. But maybe you don't. You know, if we argue for our limitations, we own them. Maybe you don't want your limitations anymore. Something to think about. If this is interesting to you, you can hear more of our discussion about it on podcast episode number 411, which you'll find at rayedwards.com/411. We'll give you the 411 on manifestation. So like I said, we have a longer discussion there. I'd also love to hear from you in other forums and social media platforms online. So here's my suggestions. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you're in the notification club. Join our Facebook group. You'll see a link below this video to join the Facebook group. Join that. We have lots of discussion there. I'm in there, my team is in there, and it's active, and it is a helpful, useful, lively place. I think you will love it. Follow me on Instagram. My username on Instagram is Ray Edwards. And finally, sign up for our daily email. The Destiny Dispatch email is what I think of it as these days. Sign up for that, and if you do all these things, you become eligible to win prizes. You can win something anywhere from $1,000 in value up to $10,000 in value, and you'll be hearing more about that the longer you stick around, the more prizes we give away. So let me hear, what do you think about this manifestation thing? Have you experienced it? Have you had a good experience, a bad experience? Do you have tips or tricks of your own to add to what I've suggested here? Then put them below this video in the comments. And until next time, I pray that you prosper with purpose and that God does more for you than you can ask, think, or possibly imagine. May you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'll see you in the next video.